Hey, welcome back, everybody. I'm Phillip and today we're going to talk about a common problem that we have with freezers, water that comes out from underneath the freezer, and we're going to fix that problem. So stay tuned and we'll get on into this. All right, we have a common problem that we always seem to have with our freezer. Every about month or so, I'll walk past and we'll have water on the floor. So what that means is the drain in the freezer is iced up, and we basically have to defrost that ice so the water can flow down into the drip pan underneath and evaporate. So what we're going to need is you're going to need a hair dryer and you're going to need a towel, because once we start melting away some of this ice, we're going to need the towel to wipe up some of this water. Now, the one thing that you want to do when you're working on your freezer is make sure that you unplug it while you're working on it. And then secondly, take all the stuff out of the bottom of your freezer so you have an easy workspace. So let's take a look at our freezer. All right, now that we've cleaned up our water that was on the floor and we removed everything out of the bottom shelf of the freezer, we want to take out this bottom plate. And so we're going to take out the bottom plate. And as you can see in there, there is ice buildup around the bottom. And if you can look here in the corner, we can see the ice that is built up, and it runs to the edge of the door. And when it runs to the edge of the door, it's defrosting and running down the seal, and it's running down the bottom of the freezer and causing water to disperse out on the floor. All right, now we have to figure out where our drain hole is that is clogged in the back of this freezer. And if we look all the way back here, we can see that the ice buildup along the back of where the water should be draining, it's completely blocking the drain hole. So what we want to do is we want to take a hair dryer, and we're going to have some dethawing to do. All right, this process is going to take a while, so I'm going to see you after I get this all defrosted. All right, I'm going to take a little bit of hot water, not too much, but I'm just going to pour it in the back drain, just so if the drain, there's ice down in the drain, this hot water is going to really unclog it fast. I don't want to put too much, because then you're going to have water leaking everywhere. It's just going to start pouring out, because it's just going to overfill the drain pan underneath the freezer, and then you're just going to have to clean up more water. And see, right now it's just really starting to pour out the front side of the freezer. All right, we have most of this already thawed out. I'm going to clean this all up real quick with the towel. I'm going to wipe it all down. I'm going to spray some cleaner in here and clean out the bottom, because there's quite a bit of dirt and just food that has fallen to the bottom of the freezer. I'm just going to clean this all up real quick. Then I'm going to continue on defrosting. All right, we've been probably defrosting this for maybe 10 minutes, and we finally unclogged the drain. You can pretty much tell when you unclog the drain, and I'll show you right now, is because when you unclog the drain, all the water that you have that you've been de-icing, all the ice and stuff, all of a sudden that drain will unclog and just pour out into the back pan of the freezer. Now, when you're done, you want to check the back of your freezer pan and see how full it is. If it's over full, then just take it out, empty it out. And if it's you know, just a little bit of water in there, because the back of mine only has probably about a cup of water in it, maybe 2 cups of water in it, and my pan's pretty big in the back. So I'm just going to leave it back there, and my compressor is just going to evaporate all that water that's in that pan anyways. So it's just I'm just going to leave it because it's less work for me to do, because it doesn't really need to. If you have to take it out, you'll have to unscrew a couple screws out of the backside of the fridge or freezer itself, and it's really simple. It's just like 2 screws in the back, and if the tray pops out, and you just dump it out, and you unhook the hose. Well, you unhook the hose, and then you dump it out, and then you just put the 2 screws back in. Now, there is another option of doing this differently than what I did. I just basically put the hair dryer in this gap where the drain is, and I de-iced it from there. Now, there's another way of doing this. You can take these 2 shelves out too, and then there's a panel that unscrews, and then you pull the panel out, and you have access to the whole back compartment of the freezer, which it's a lot of messing around. You can do it that way. It'll just take you a little bit longer. It took me about 10 minutes to do this with the hair dryer, and I'd probably spend about 8 to 10 minutes taking everything out, and then taking the racks out and taking all the screws out to get access to the back panel. And in that time, I could have pretty much had this already defrosted in the freezer. So you could do it either way. This way is a faster way, but you know, if you really want to get in there and see how much ice and buildup there is, you can do it the other way. But mine wasn't too bad. I did have to use about 3 towels because in the bottom there was so much ice buildup that once I started thawing it, I just basically could tap on it and break it all up, and then I just brushed it all out into a towel. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you have any comments, comment down below. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. I'm Phillip Bridges, and I will talk to you later.